Gentlemen, welcome back. You're back with MGTOW Money. This, of course, is MGTOW 2.0 with actionable ideas on moving your life forward. Today's topic is going to be for the man who hates school, reading, but becomes a millionaire. Secrets of the millionaire high school dropout. Before we get to today's topic, though, let me sincerely thank the continued support of all the Patreon supporters as well as those men that bought me a cup of coffee on the last video. Gentlemen, thank you. I do sincerely appreciate the respect you have shown me. I also, though, want to encourage those men who did not or have not supported this channel, please consider doing so. Put down the pom-poms, gentlemen. Get in the game. Show respect because you know you're getting something out of this. All right, let's get on to today's topic, gentlemen. This is for the man who hates school. He hates reading. He's having it rough right now. Whether you're 25 or 45, I'm going to bet 80% of you men are not happy where you are in life. You're struggling. You're trying to figure out what you're going to do next. Whether it be you're struggling with debt, whether it be you're struggling with your job that you can't stand it, whether, God help you, you've got some bad marriage or whatever. Here is a real practical idea. I've alluded to this before, but this is something I think that any man, in particular, who's really having a tough time, needs to seriously consider because there is a real vacuum out in the world for this type of idea that is not being fulfilled, that you can make a lot of money at. Specifically, I'm suggesting to some of you men, if not most of you, learn a trade, gentlemen. Specifically what I'm talking about. I remember a long time ago, one man mentioned how, I just made $2,000 in a day hanging drywall. That, gentlemen, is a trade. That is something, I'm talking about something you're doing with your hands, whether you're an electrician, whether you're a plumber. Let's say you're a musician. Let's say that you're a computer coder. Now, I'm not saying you're a world-class person at this particular skill or this particular trade, but you're good. You're good enough. And I'll talk about that in the future in another video, but you're kind of above average because above average puts you in that top 20%, which is better than the rest of the 80% of people that are doing it. So if you're pretty good at something, and it could be anything, and you can think about this, maybe you're a pretty good golfer, maybe you're a pretty good chess player, maybe you've got, again, some sort of unique talent, trade, whatever, something you can apply, something you can use, and specifically what you're going to do, gentlemen, is turn it into a business, turn it into a stream of income. Now, how are you going to go about doing that? That's the obvious question. Well, I know that I'm good at X. How do I go about turning it into a stream of income? How do I turn it into a business? It's very simple. You know what you have to do, gentlemen? You've got to find a customer. In other words, got to find someone who will pay you to have you teach them your skill, your trade, have you apply your trade, your skill for them, etc. For example, if you want to learn to play guitar, maybe you would pay someone to have you teach them guitar. If you've got a stopped up toilet and you don't know what to do, maybe you'll hire someone to come to your premise and fix your toilet. If you're having an issue with X, again, you'll engage someone to help you with that. So guess what? You have a business. If you can find one person to pay you to apply your particular skill or talent or trade to them, for them, you now have a business. If you have one customer, could you get a second customer and a third one? Could you ask that person that you've now fulfilled this task for, hey, do you know anybody else who needs their toilet unstopped? Hey, do you know anybody else who needs some drywall hung? Hey, do you know anybody else who needs their house painted? Hey, do you know anyone else who needs their lawn mowed? The point is, gentlemen, if you have one customer, you can build to a second, to a third, to a fourth, and all of a sudden, you have a serious business going, gentlemen. That is a business. You're supplying a skill, a trade. You're using some energy, some talent energy that you have, and you're getting people to reciprocate to you with money. Now, of course, this is going to require for you to get to that millionaire status and multimillionaire status, etc. Yeah, you're going to have to work at it. Sorry, there is no free lunch here, gentlemen. You're going to have to work at it. And yes, you're probably going to have to work a ton of hours. I did a video about Old Man MGTOW several videos ago. He ran a manufacturing business. I'll just leave it at that. He worked a lot of hours, he told me. He was working 7 days a week, many weeks, 12, 14 hours a day. He was also telling me about how his employees, most of them were trying to do as little work as possible and leaving as early as possible and coming as late as possible. That is very different, obviously, from an employer to an employee attitude. And you follow exactly what I'm saying. Furthermore, gentlemen, of course, when you're working your business, don't focus so much on, I want to have this huge Fortune 500, thousands of employees business. Why don't you focus on a process and a plan of starting with one single customer, going to 2, going to 3, 4, and so on. Again, start small, gentlemen. Start in baby steps. Let the process work itself. You can do this, gentlemen. Yes, again, I understand it's going to require work. It is going to require a lot of hours. And frankly, yes, if you really want to make it big, I'm talking about financially big in this sense, it's probably going to take potentially years. This is not going to be a 1, 2, or 3 year type thing, gentlemen. You, though, are going to think about that as part of the process, as part of the plan. You're going to know going in, okay, I know this is going to take a while. I know this might take 5 years, 10 years, maybe even 15 years. But I know there is a light at the tunnel if I stay with the process. I follow the plan. I stay on track. I stay focused. I follow the steps, step by step. Now, let me throw in a turbocharger to this whole thing that I think that could really work, especially for men who specifically are with a hands-on type trade. Hands-on type trade, bricklayer. Hands-on type trade, room painter. Hands-on type trade, I alluded to the man who does drywall. Hands-on type trade, you fix cars or you fix motorcycles, etc. If you can do something like that, a way to really turbocharge this, to really specifically, if you really want to move this quickly forward, I specifically can tell you, gentlemen, move to a foreign country. Oh my God, yes, I know it sounds radical, gentlemen. I know that some of you have already started cringing and screaming silently to yourself, what? That's impossible. No, gentlemen, you can do this. I seriously would recommend, for example, you can consider relocating yourself to a foreign country with your English-speaking skills, which I'm sure all of you have, and you put yourself in a foreign country in a community of lots of other English-speaking expats, English-speaking expatriates. In other words, foreigners that have moved to this foreign country and they speak English just like you do. Let me just give you a hypothetical example. Let's say you move to Quito, Ecuador. Quito, Ecuador, gentlemen, as you may or may not know, has a fairly significant small community of, guess what? English-speaking expats from the United States, from Canada, from Europe, UK, etc. The point being is that the vast majority of the population, of course, as you can imagine, speaks Spanish. The vast majority of those expats speak little or no Spanish. That being the case, gentlemen, I can assure you, expats would prefer to deal in their native language. They would prefer to deal with someone who, frankly, speaks English. That's not an opinion. That is simply a factual statement. Point being, if you can do some sort of skill and put yourself into that type of situation where you have not only just a unique skill, a la, I'm a good plumber. I'm not a world-class plumber, but I'm a good plumber. And you put yourself in terms of a community of being a big fish in terms of I'm the one single English-speaking good plumber in this community. Gentlemen, you have significantly raised your value. I can virtually guarantee you the amount of demand for your services will be very, very high. Again, you will be that big fish in a small pond. You will be that go-to person. And again, if you get yourself into this type of situation, you will see your business seriously grow very, very quickly. Now, obviously, gentlemen, it doesn't have to be Quito, Ecuador. There are thousands of communities around the world of small pockets of expats, of English-speaking people in foreign countries where English is not the dominant language that you should consider, at least as an idea. Again, this being a shortcut to super turbocharging your life to make money and obviously to put you on the road to financial independence. I'll include a video. I've done 2 videos on living overseas. One video, of course, was on reasons that you should not move overseas, which was quite controversial in spite of what I thought. And number 2, I did another video on why you should move overseas. I'll include links in the description of this video to both of those videos. All right, gentlemen, let's quickly sum up. For the man who's really stuck, for the man who hates reading, who hated school, dare I say the typical high school dropout, if you will, but who still wants to be a millionaire, who can become a millionaire. Number 1, you're going to learn a trade. Number 2, you're going to turn that trade into a business, and that can be simply get a customer, get one person to pay you. Number 3, you've got to, of course, understand right up front to turn it into a real business, to turn it into a significant stream of income, because that's what a business is. You are going to have to work a ton of hours, so know that right up front. You need to work a plan. You need to set up a process. Forget the goals. Forget it. I want to make this as big as Amazon.com. Start focusing on 1 customer, then 2, then 3, then, hey, maybe I do need to get at least a part-time assistant to help me here. Number 4, of course, expect that this is going to take a while. Expect that this might take years, but of course, consider the shortcut. Consider that way of turbocharging to get you quickly moved forward. Let me finish by saying, what if I'm wrong? What if you actually did learn a new skill and it turned out to be worthless, which is highly unlikely? I mean, do you ever really learn something and it turns out to be worthless, of no use? I guess there might be a few things, but again, highly unlikely. The way to move forward easily, relatively quickly, is what I'm talking about. Learning something new or using your specific talents that you already have ready and already in hand and turning them into money. That's it. Gentlemen, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the like button if you found that useful. As always, John Galt out.